Boris Johnson suggests route out of lockdown. Sign up for latest news plus tips to save money and the environment. Subscribe. When you subscribe, we will use the information you provide to send you these news. Sometimes they'll include recommendations for other related newsletters or services. Our privacy notice explains more about how we use your data and your rights. You can unsubscribe at any. Several lockdowns have been introduced in England over the last 12 months in response to rising coronavirus cases. Many are wondering when restrictions may finally come to an end and a semblance of normality can return. But based on the latest figures, COVID cases, hospital admissions and deaths are still too high for the lockdown. Express.co.uk spoke to a medical expert about when the third England-wide lockdown could be lifted in the future. When will this lockdown end? One expert told Express.co.uk COVID cases will need to be significantly lower before lockdown measures are. Professor Martin Michaelis, professor of molecular medicine at the University of Kent, told co.uk, "I think we have a unique chance to reduce COVID-19 spread to very low levels, something below 10 cases per million residents per day, ideally around 1 case per million per day. As we can see from countries such as Australia, New Zealand, and Taiwan, COVID-19 spread can be controlled locally by isolating infected individuals and their contacts when case numbers are that. To achieve this, all people with any infectious disease symptoms, not just the 3 official ones, would need to be complemented by large-scale random testing of asymptomatic individuals. Although this requires some effort, it is the only strategy that is certain to give us sustainably back. In such a scenario, we would probably need a form of lockdown until after Easter and then a slow, cautious, stepwise An additional advantage of this strategy is that it prevents the formation of novel, dangerous variants. Since new variants are the consequence of random errors when the virus replicates, we dramatically reduce the chance of novel variants forming when we reduce virus transmission and replication. Professor Michaelis added there may be a bumpier road ahead if lockdown is lifted while COVID cases are still too high. Professor Michaelis said, higher levels of COVID-19 spread are associated with more disease. Moreover, virus spread cannot be effectively controlled if it passes a certain. Therefore, an earlier removal of measures may work out in the end, if we are lucky, but it will be associated with a higher risk that severe, general restrictions need to be reintroduced. A higher level of COVID-19 spread provides the virus with more opportunities to form escape variants that are not covered by pre-existing immunity due to vaccination or previous infections and, hence, undo our previous. Scientifically, the best strategy is to only remove restrictions when the infection numbers are. Other strategies are always associated with an enhanced risk that the pandemic spirals out of control. Will there be a 4th lockdown in England? COVID cases have significantly dropped since the start of the 3rd lockdown. On Tuesday, February 16th, 10th, 625 COVID cases were confirmed in the and over the last 7 days. New cases have dropped by 20% compared to the previous week. Vaccine rollout is also well underway and people are optimistic vaccine rollout could help to control the spread of COVID-19. While many are hopeful this lockdown could be England's last, the government has not ruled out further lockdowns if they are deemed necessary. Boris Johnson said this week, "I'm increasingly optimistic about the sheer extent of the possibilities that are opening up with vaccination. I'll be setting out as much of a timetable as we can give on the 22nd. Trending and I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to go ahead and open. But to say I can give an absolute cast iron guarantee that we won't face further difficulties and have to think harder and deeper about some problems, no, at this stage I can't. But I don't want people to think I'm not optimistic. I think there's been a big change and the big change is that science is now unquestioningly in the ascendancy of." Mr. Johnson has said he wants this lockdown to be the last. He added, "And we want progress to be cautious but also irreversible."